AMG family, Mondo here. Hey, just wanted to make sure real quick before we get started that you guys have subscribed to the AMG Podcast channel. Go below if you can't see it, look a little, scroll down, whatever you got to do. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us immensely here at the AMG Podcast. The second thing we need you to do is turn on your notifications. That way, anytime we drop new content, you are the first to be notified. That way we can grow together. We can learn in life together and do life together. All right. So with that said, let's get to it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the AMG Podcast. It's your boy Mondo here. Hey, man, we got a phenomenal guest today. This is my dude, my boy, old roommate at one point to just, you name it, crazy brother in life. This is my dog, man. We've known each other for a very, very long time. This is my guy, Joey Richie out of Nashville, Tennessee. What's up, homie? What's going on, man?
What's good, man?
Dude. Hey, how long have we known each other, man? What year was that we met at 3rd and Lindsley?
2001.
Yeah. It may have been 2000, bro.
Yeah, so we're talking 25 years.
Oh, I just got another gray hair when you said that. Oh, 25
years, bro.
Oh, we go back 25, a whole quarter piece.
Man.
Check that out, man. Wow.
Man.
So y'all can imagine we've got a lot of stories. We're really going to try to keep this as tight and concise. It's going to be a struggle.
Because we both talk.
Yeah, we both can talk. Yeah, we can cut up. So, hey, get ready for a ride. It's going to be good, man. You know, I was telling Joey, everyone, before we started that I've been wanting to get people on here that are a part of my life, a key part of my life, that when I think of any particular stage, the first, person that comes to mind is blank, right? And in this particular season, for Joey and myself, we were both coming straight out of college.
No doubt.
Straight into the music business, and we meet each other early on. You were fresh out, I was fresh out of school,
Yes,
and we meet each other, and then the journey begins. And so when I was thinking about post-college, Joey Richie popped up in my head. I was like, I've got to call this dude and get him on camera because you are a key piece to my life. And
Yeah.
I would think probably yours because we spend so much time together. So
no doubt, man.
Man, from the good, the bad, the ugly, to the left, to the right, up and down, you name it. We've been through it.
Yes, sir.
All of it.
Yes, sir.
And so I thought it'd be great, man, for people to get to know you at a deeper level. And before we get to my little line of question, man, we were just having a chat about this where I thought it'd be awesome to get you on for people that will watch this because of you. They don't know me, but they know you. And they know a version of you. They know the stage Joey.
Right. Okay.
They don't have the opportunity to really get to know Joey Richie.
Yeah.
Right. The guy that I know. And I think it'd be a great opportunity for people who are curious about you.
Yeah.
Fans of you as a person, fans of you as an entertainer, but just curious and say, man, what's that dude like? What's that dude like, man?
Yeah, what's he like at the crib?
Yeah, what's he like? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, does he take his own trash out? You know what I mean? Like stuff,
right?
Stuff like
yeah,
stuff like that, man. And so I thought it'd be great to do this. So we're gonna go a little old school, and then we're gonna come up to the present, obviously. But real quick, man, kind of get it to where you're from. I got a couple things about your beginning I'm gonna ask you, but from the beginning, like what's the foundation of Joey Richie, man?
Well, I'm what you call a unicorn in Nashville. I am actually a born and raised native.
There you go.
Nashville, Tennessee. My grandfather and my father were both pastors and evangelists.
There you go.
So I've been raised in the church world, not from a more traditional Black church background. I was actually raised Church of Christ. So if any of you that are watching know anything about the church spectrum, Church of Christ is very not typical Black. But one of the things that I will say is that the foundation of that was so strong that, the amount of Bible that you learn in that faith tradition keeps you real close to the word when you need something to pull on. You know what I mean?
Good, man.
So, I'm all things Nashville public schools, Okay.
Yep.
And then I did 1 year at Tennessee State University, my freshman year out of high school. I
I
did.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
But then an amazing opportunity, and we'll delve into this because it ties to the music industry, but an amazing opportunity from one of my first mentors opened a door for me to transfer from TSU to Belmont. And
There we go.
I finished my undergrad at Belmont University in 2000. And then we met not long after that.
So being a vocalist, musician, a pianist, and I met you as a vocalist. That's how, because you were, I believe, a guest vocalist. Was it the Wootens that night or something like that? The Wooten
Yes,
Brothers?
sir.
Yeah. Man, it's funny how you remember certain things, man. So,
Right.
so 25 years ago, yeah, you look like fresh out of Belmont too, man. You had your like Boys to Men, like Motown Philly look good at the time.
Come on, dog.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
I was like, who's this nerdy fool up there? He can sing. Wow, that dude is dope. Man, he need a fashion consultant. But yeah, he don't.
Man.
But
Did I ever?
no, I'm playing. No, you was sugar sharp though, man. You was taking care of business. But yeah, you were up there doing your thing, man. And we ended up meeting later on. So, but at being a vocalist, I want to tie it back to Church of Christ though. So, as a lot of people who are listening heard what you said, but they may not be tying it together. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying, and you know where I'm going, is because when I met you, you told me you were Church of Christ. I didn't tie it together either. Because
really?
Because I came from the church that you said that you are not. I came from the black church of the tip, which you think of.
Right.
You said to everybody that you came from what you don't think of, something different. And so I was confused.
Okay.
Until one day with you, we went to your dad's church and y'all had a rehearsal.
Yes, sir.
And I was in there. I watched you with the kids. I think it was like the kids' youth or something like that.
It was the youth choir.
Yeah, youth choir. And I got in there, and honestly, God, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was like, where's the piano and the drums and the amplifiers and because that's what I'm accustomed to.
Yes, sir.
And I heard these kids, and you were directing, and these kids were blowing, like they were killing it. And I was like, wait, so Joey comes from this? It makes sense now. And then you started telling me about I'm a mess. Is it New Image, the group you were in?
New Image. Yep.
See, I remember a little something. So, so in acapella group, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So talk about that and the influence of church, acapella, Church of Christ tradition, and how that influenced your vocal ability. Because as time has gone on, and as I, recorded with you and worked with you, I would see you bringing stuff out the trick bag vocally that I never knew you could do. And I'm like, this dude, his pocket is deep with creativity.
Yeah. Honestly, where that all stemmed from was the fact that in the Church of Christ tradition, there's absolutely no instrumentation to what we do musically in worship. It's all voice.
Yeah.
So to the point that we still have like conservative and then charismatic Church of Christ congregations where they'll have a praise team and there'll be somebody that's doing beatbox stuff and somebody that's singing bass that's mimicking the sound of a bass guitar.
Okay.
But there's no instruments whatsoever. It's all a cappella.
Wow.
So you're hearing what sounds like the band,
but it's not
all
the band.
voice.
All voices, yeah.
So from a creative standpoint, that fed this different ear where I learned how to listen to music differently because I was honestly, I'm basically listening to music to figure out how to make those sounds with just this, right? So naturally, the group of the day when New Image formed in 96, I think it was.
Okay.
Was Take Six.
Yeah.
Who could do it all. right?
Right, exactly.
From the arrangements to the different vocal percussion and sound effects things and whatnot. And I was like, man, if we're gonna build a group, it's gonna be that and Boys to Men, like they got locked in a room. Okay. So
That's mean right there, boy.
man.
Yeah.
And so everything that I've ever been blessed to do musically that I can, look back and say I did that well.
Mhm.
I have to thank God for the upbringing in the Church of Christ because it fine-tuned my ear in a way that others don't necessarily get.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, you and I have been around some genius musicians all of our lives, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
But one of the things that kind of gets lost in translation is they can play parts, they can articulate things, but sometimes they don't necessarily focus on the voices,
Right.
or it's not the first priority. You
Correct.
get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Whereas in my upbringing, the voices were the priority. Then I got the music side,
Yep.
how to play.
Hmm.
And literally, I started playing to reinforce what my ear was hearing vocally.
Nice.
So I
Nice.
started studying music theory to understand vocal arranging. And I
Nice.
started studying music theory to understand, what we now call the progression of a song, the
Hmm.
chord structure and all of that. I needed to understand that vocally to arrange. And then now I'm like, I fell in love with piano.
Hmm. Hmm.
So then I just kept on studying piano and tried to get, decent at
Yeah,
that as
man.
well. So,
I remember. Tell me if I'm wrong, man. Did
mhm.
you start your piano journey around the time we met?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember when we were living together, the keyboard in the living room, and you
Yes.
had notes and notepads and stuff and records. You had not records, CDs at the time, and
Yeah.
all that stuff everywhere. So that's when
Yes.
you were really getting your chops down, cutting your teeth, and learning your thing.
Because look at who I'm competing with
Right, right,
industry wise.
right.
These cats have probably been playing keyboard instruments from birth.
Yeah, since they were, yeah, exactly. Came out playing. Right, exactly.
Right. Came out playing, and I'm
Yeah.
just getting into the journey at like 19, 20,
Yep.
21.
Yeah.
Right. So I
Interesting.
had a lot of homework to do and a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned the whole Third and Lindsley thing, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Which is a club, by the way. It's a beautiful, wonderful club, kind of a staple in Nashville.
right. And here the Wooten brothers, what I call the first family of funk,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
they have a Wednesday night residency there. And it's literally a master class in musicianship
Joel is.
and a master class in like riding the wave of the room, right?
Hmm.
And I'll never forget this, man. So before you and I met, I used to go to Third and Lindsley as a teenager when they weren't even supposed to let me in.
Oh, you sneaking in, man?
They was the brothers would sneak me in the back door and paint a mustache on me with mascara.
Okay. All right. Yep.
So
I'm
then
out
when
there
I
with you.
get to the age that I can actually go in there,
Uh-huh.
um, one of my homeboys from Belmont, Bill Elder, um, he's a sick guitar player and vocalist in his own right.
Okay.
Uh, he was like, "Man, we need to get you up there to sing one time."
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
said, "Nah, ain't no way. Nah, we're not
Yeah.
doing that. Nope.
Yeah.
Uh-uh. This is there's out of my league, and then there's that, and that's
And then
that's
there's
beyond out of my
that.
league. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they're from another planet, man, musically speaking. Yes.
Man."
Yes.
And so he was like, "No, no, no. I think I could get you up there."
Uh-huh.
And he starts writing a note on like multiple beverage napkins
Okay.
and just sending them up there.
Mm.
And so Joe Wooten, the keyboard player of the band, who has now become not just a good mentor to me, but a good friend to me over the years.
Mm.
He I think after about the fifth note, he picks it up and he's like, "Man, I got the same note over here." And, he's all comical and everything,
Yeah,
typical
yeah.
front man swag. Man, I got like the fifth note up here uh, about somebody named Joey Richie who can sing. And they were like, "Is Joey Richie here?" And I was like, I looked at Bill and I was like, "I'm gonna get you for this."
Man, why
I
you
was
do
like,
that?
"Yeah, I'm here." And
Yeah.
he was like, "Do you sing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, I sing."
Yeah.
Uh, I'm about to throw up in my mouth
I
at the
feel
time
you.
because the nerves are like my heart is literally beating out my chest,
I
right?
bet it is. Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, do you know this song?" And he's asking this on the microphone to the crowd. "Do you know this song?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." Uh, I lied.
Ooh.
Never sang the song before in my life,
Ooh.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
He goes, "All right, well, we're gonna do one song and then we're gonna transition into that and we'll bring you up."
Okay.
Okay, bet. Well, Reggie's roommate at the time was a good friend of mine, Jonathan Morris.
Okay.
Jonathan's standing at the front door at Third and Lindsley.
Uh-huh.
I'll run out, grab him by the arms, like, "Bro, give me the lyrics to Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye."
Yeah.
And I'm writing them in my hand with a Sharpie.
Okay.
They start the song.
Oh.
Joseph gives me a King's introduction.
Oh my God. You got your lyrics on your hand.
The
Mm-hmm.
lyrics are on my hand. And he is setting it up like I got Grammys and all
Oh,
kind of stuff.
dude.
And I'm like, okay, it's do or die.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yes, it is.
literally
Yes,
do
it is.
or die.
Yes.
Now, keep in
Oh,
mind, I've watched them do what they do, but when you get invited into that thing,
and
it's
you get
like,
an introduction like that too? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I'm saying to myself, if I mess this up, I'm done.
Yep.
Like for life.
And it's not like you out of town. Like this is at the crib in Nashville. It's like,
Hey, in front of your
when you done,
hometown. And so I
yeah,
get up there and I sing that song like my life depended on it.
I bet you did, brother. I bet you did.
I'm talking about the first line, I'm sweating already
Uh-huh.
just to get that first line out. And it was like I left it all up. I left it all at the microphone stand.
There
And
you
they're
go.
all looking around like, "Man, no, this dude can really sing, right?"
Yeah, yeah,
And so that started what has been now a over
yeah.
over 25-year journey.
Yeah.
Uh because like I said, getting snuck in at 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
That's almost 30 years now of knowing them and watching them and learning
Yeah.
from
And what's crazy, man, like I guess it was probably what, 2 years maybe, and then you were like a regular, you will pop up.
them. Yeah,
Because I have been there a couple times and I saw you, they brought you up, sing a few tunes, and you would sit down and go kick it or whatever. They
uh-huh,
later on, they bring somebody else up, here and there.
right.
Right. And I saw you a few times. And then one particular time in your Boys and Men hookup, that's when I saw.
Come on.
Yeah. That, that's when we met. And so now let's talk about that part from transition though. So post college, now you're like a regular. Every Wednesday, you can see Joey up there at some point of the night, right?
Hmm.
How did that catapult you into other opportunities? Obviously, I was doing my thing at the time, and I said, "Hey, man, we need to work together. We need to write. We need to do this and that." And you gave me an opportunity to produce for you and
No
write
doubt.
with you and all that.
No
And
doubt.
you can fill the gaps in, but from what I remember, my friend,
Hmm.
you were singing backgrounds. You were on the road. You were doing events. You were singing backgrounds for major artists. You were writing your own record. You were, dude. You were writing music.
Yeah,
It just got pretty ignorant pretty quick. It seemed like in a good way.
in a good way. Yeah. So let's back up to the year before you and I met.
Okay. Yep.
Like the whole reason I even went to Belmont and transferred in 96 was
Hmm.
because my mentor at the time, Charlie Peacock,
Hmm.
uh, used his influence to open a window, well, actually, it was more like a door of opportunity for me to go to Belmont. And because of that, I had been doing background vocal session work with him, Brent Bourgeois,
Mhm.
um, Brown Bannister,
Oh, okay.
working on
Yeah.
CCM records.
Yeah. Yeah. CCM records. Yeah. Yeah.
So I had been on records with Lisa Bevel, Margaret Becker, Sherry Kagi,
Mm.
all stuff that Charlie had produced, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And he was like, "Look," he just flat out asked me. He was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I want to do what you do.
Sure.
I want to be sitting in the same kind of chair that you're sitting in as a musician, a producer, a writer, but also someone that has influence to maybe change the sound of what we're doing
Yeah.
in this music realm." And he was like, "Okay, good. Well, how do you feel about where you are in your education journey?" And I was like, "I like it." He was
Mm.
like, "What if I could give you something that would really put you in the captain's chair?"
Mm.
I was
Okay.
like, "What are we talking about?" Not,
Yeah.
I knew what Belmont was, and
Yeah.
I knew all of the names that had come out of Belmont,
But
but
you
I
know that's what he was talking about.
never saw it as
Yeah.
a place that I would go. And it was on my top 5 schools,
Okay.
but I was like, let's be real here. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real.
Yeah.
The cost,
Sure. Yeah.
uh, I don't know if the environment is going to be too friendly because, it's very much not what I'm accustomed to being around.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, and so he was like, "Well, think about it, pray
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an opportunity we could put you into the next class at Belmont.
Mm.
You could finish there." And I said, "Wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
Belmont? No, there's no way."
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, "No, no, no, no. We've been having conversations about this. We really see some things with you, and we feel like if we could get you to Belmont, that would be the ticket
Yeah.
for you educationally because
Yeah.
of the wealth of experiences." I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
You go to Belmont. I did a tour, still considering it.
Yeah.
And the first thing they take me into is a full-on studio on
Yeah.
campus
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
student run. And
Mm-hmm.
there's students in there running a session. And I was like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
get it now." Okay.
Environment, bro. He pivoted you, repositioned you into a better environment
Yes,
that
sir.
could water Joey Richie,
Yes, sir.
right? Nurture.
Yes, sir.
And it's so funny because he obviously you didn't know what you didn't know. So you just kind of, hey, I'm doing the best I know to do, and I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah,
And that's fair. But then
absolutely.
he's like, nah, you missed door number 4. You was looking at 3 doors. I gotta
Right.
you didn't see the 4th one.
Exactly.
Timeout, Slim. Come over here.
Come over here. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I
And
love that.
so when I went through door number 4, I was like, "Well, forget doors 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
go."
I love that, man. I love it. And so as like a couple years later, you and I meet,
Mhm.
and obviously there's a lot of you're still doing your thing, you're growing, I'm doing my thing. We do some things together.
Yes,
Obviously,
sir.
I produced your EP,
Yes, sir.
and you were singing backgrounds on different things. And it's funny how association's powerful, right? Because we
No
both
doubt.
introduced each other to our circles, right? I mean, I met some of the guys from Take Six. I didn't know them.
Right.
You met some producers and writers that you hadn't met yet, and it was just a nice.
Absolutely.
It was just a nice blend of like, we are the world. Let's share. I've got this. You want some? Kind of deal.
No doubt.
And honestly, I think we just selfishly speaking, we made some bangers. Some
Man,
still to this
now don't be
day.
selfish. Go on,
Yeah.
say it like it
Hey,
needs to be
hey, man,
said.
look, we made some bangers. I ain't gonna lie. Uh,
Look, I was listening to a couple of them yesterday, and I
okay.
was like, "Man, I
Yeah.
stand this up right now."
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, I'm telling you, that EP was banging, man. And
Yes, sir.
I look forward at it. It's like, man, we had this, we have this wonderful history together, and then we're going to transition to where the trifecta really starts developing. You know, we're becoming young adults, right? Um, where God, family, and music really start distinguishing themselves in our daily walks
Yes, sir.
because life is happening.
Yes, sir.
Decisions are being made.
Yes, sir.
Marriage on my side and
Yes,
relationships
sir.
and things and musical commitments and goals and these things are happening. And then you start that young adulthood as a man, we're trying to figure ourselves out, right? We're
No
really trying
doubt.
to navigate spaces. And so going into that, man, you know, what would you say? What was the moment you realized you say, "Oh wait, I'm grown." Like
Ooh.
I'm oh, this for real. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm grown. Like at what point, whether it
Woo.
be age or whatever, what was that moment where you realized, wait a second, I am a grown man?
Yeah. I I pinpoint I think it was the year that I turned 20, it was either 26 or 27.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Uh,
Um, man, it was the first time that I went to my mailbox and saw a stack of bills. Not just one,
It had your name on it.
all of them had my name on it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Uh,
and I remember, okay, it's like, you go through the process of buying a car, you sit there and you signing all the papers and all that kind of stuff. That's cool. Okay.
right. Sure. Yeah.
You got your place, sign up for and get your utilities cut off. That's cool.
Right.
But
Right.
it's when all of them bills hit your mailbox at the same time
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Oh
and they
yeah.
all got that due by this date.
Uh-huh.
And you looking at your calendar, looking at these bills, and then looking at your bank account, and you're like, oh, we're here now.
Yep. We are
We
here.
we not only are we here, the clock is ticking,
Yep. Every day.
right?
Every
Every
day.
day.
That's
And
right.
the
Man.
light bulb moment for me was no time can be wasted at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, as young musicians, especially in college, when you've still got a little bit of a safety net with parents.
Sure. Yep.
You still got a little bit of a safety net with them student loan refunds
Sure. Right. Yep.
where you don't use everything that
Everything.
you
Yep.
go out buy gear, all the stuff, whatever.
Right.
But now you got 10 days from the time that mug hits your mailbox
Yeah.
to make good on a commitment that you signed up for. And I was like, okay, I can't waste time playing. uh I just
Yeah.
can't be, goofing off or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the moment. I was like, whoo, these
Yeah.
jokers are coming every month.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, didn't y'all just send one yesterday? Like, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? Y'all sent
right,
another one? I don't need a reminder. I'm grown. You know what
right. Like, I get it. I
yeah.
get it. So, and this is,
I-
this is before we could do auto pay and all that
oh
kind
yeah.
of
Yeah.
stuff.
You were standing in line with your little check and your
Come
money
on,
order,
dog.
with your little money order and your little statement clicks,
Come
little
on.
cut off or whatever. Yeah. So I do have so I just made a connection here though, man. It says a lot about your mental fortitude, your resilience. And I just made this connection just now, literally, as you were speaking. So you said, all right, stack of bills. I can't waste time. I got to get after it. The clock is ticking. All those beautiful things you said, those realities, right?
Yes, sir.
But what people may not realize is that in Nashville, it's not like you were going around, like there was a lot of opportunity for the style of music that you at the time that you were singing. You could, if you were Joey and you were a country artist, you had more options to be able to figure out how to go play at a restaurant, at a bar, do an event, be a hired gun for another artist. You had a lot more options. You had
Hmm.
Broadway stuff, you had other things, whatever, right?
Hmm.
On downtown Broadway. But as a soul singer, R&B singer, not limiting you to that, but
Hmm.
At
Yes, sir.
that time, you didn't see a whole lot of people like us doing anything like country at the time.
At the time.
Like
Yep.
Darius Rucker wasn't around yet.
Nope.
and others, you know.
Correct.
But so there was like this secret, not a secret, this underground community
Yes, sir.
of soul singers, musicians, funk, R&B, neo soul, hip hop. There was this underground scene, and
Yep.
it wasn't as many money making opportunities for guys like you and I
Hmm.
as there were for others in other genres.
Correct.
But you made it.
Ha. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, man? Like
Yeah.
that says a lot. Like for young musicians that are watching this, it's like I'm sure in Nashville is different now. It was different when I left 5 years ago,
Yes, sir.
and I'm sure it's evolved since then,
Yes,
even.
sir.
And where there's more opportunities, there's more rock music, there's more R&B, there's more. I
Absolutely.
see the feeds. Yeah, but back in the late, like shoot, man, in the early 2000s,
Nothing.
there wasn't none of that.
It was all underground.
It was all underground.
All
Like
underground. And
it was,
you're begging for an opportunity
yeah.
versus they're just readily available to you.
Exactly. So then you have to get creative. You have to sell your group or your art and say, hey, you know, we could play your cookout. Y'all like
Absolutely.
R&B, y'all like Marvin Gaye and stuff like that. Y'all like soul music, y'all like Earth, Wind and Fire. Hey, we could play the wedding. Hey,
Yes,
we could
sir.
do this convention. Hey, we could
Absolutely.
do, and then you start booking with those agencies that book bands for events and stuff and all that.
Jeez.
It's like I saw you getting really, really creative. And I only know that because you hired me to
Yep.
play drums on several of these
Yep.
gigs,
Yep.
right? Different
And,
different types of events.
and so, in that vein, I think one of the greatest lessons that we learned is that Nashville is actually a city that will afford you the opportunity to do whatever you want to do in the music spectrum.
I agree with that 1000%.
You can be on the business side or the creative side, and literally you can create the ticket that you write for yourself.
I agree with that. Yep.
I think another good friend of ours, John Baker,
Mm-hmm.
he said it this way. He said, man, Nashville is a place where you become who you really want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was powerful because if you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
you either figure it out or you change careers.
That's exactly right. Oh, it's gonna let you know either way.
100%.
It's
And
gonna
it's
let
going to
you
let
know
you
either
know
way.
quick.
It's gonna let you know. Right.
And
And it's
I think the difference in that, the X factor, if you will, in that is how deep are you willing to get into the shed to learn the lesson?
man, that right there, paying the dues.
That's it.
Paying the dues.
That's it.
Dude, if we could bore y'all listening right now and watching, we could bore you for 2 hours plus on the dues.
Man.
All and there's so many looks to it.
Yeah.
It's so many different looks to it. When it's when you're trying to one pay your bills in an underground market, there's this underground musician network of stupidly talented people.
Come on.
Dumb. I mean,
Um,
it's yeah, and we're all working together, creating different pockets and bands and gigs and this and that. You might play with one group tonight or during the day, and it's another group in the evening, and another group at the club that late night. You
Yeah.
seriously, because I know you've done it, and so have I.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like with three different gigs in one day.
Three
So
different gigs, three different bands in one
and
day.
three different bands. So and that's how it was. Just everybody was in a respectful way working together
Absolutely.
because we needed each other. There was no meeting or powwow about it. We just understood. It was an unspoken
Absolutely.
understanding of like, hey, and it was no feelings about it, no egos about it. It was just,
None at
hey,
all.
we all trying to eat, man.
We all
Yeah.
trying to eat. And you know what? I am so thankful for that community that even still exists now, even with
Mhm.
more opportunities afforded.
Yep.
That same community environment exists now that, look, it's not that we have better food to eat, we actually have a bigger table now.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And um
We can fit a turkey, not a Cornish hen. You know what I'm saying? We can
Come
fit
on. Come on.
Yeah, bigger
And look,
table
and
now,
we can
y'all.
actually get some sides
All
now.
right.
It's not just meat and bread.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Exactly.
yeah, I'm thankful, man, that we kept the community alive,
Yeah.
grew the community, and
Yeah.
everybody's still on the same page, and we all sitting at a bigger table,
Yeah.
and we still eating together.
It's really so cool, man. I've been gone from Nashville for 5 years, and there's still great relationships, obviously you and others that I still connect with, because it's just like it's that brotherhood, that brother sisterhood of,
Yes, sir.
hey, we've been there, and it's just it's gonna last a lifetime. You know it is. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And honestly, man, all we got is us.
That's it, man. That's it. And here's what's crazy. So after um you're doing your thing. Like I said, life started happening, right? God, family, music, right? So we grown now. You getting your bills, and I get married, right?
Yeah.
So I've got life going. I got married life. You got your life and Uncle Bill in the mailbox,
Bro,
Emily and all his cousins.
come
So
on.
so we're both doing that thing, and then some time goes by. Let's say probably almost. I saw you, and we would do gigs and stuff like that, all that. But as far as the weekly, I would see you didn't start until Oasis, until church.
Yes, sir.
So around 2010 ish, somewhere around there,
Yeah.
is when I started attending. I
Yeah.
think you had been there a teeny bit at that
Yeah.
point.
I
Yeah.
had been there since about 08,
Eight.
07,
Okay.
08.
So you've been there for a little bit. And so now, you're the worship leader, and and I'm one of the drummers. And it's like, here we go. Back to the crib.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
vibe, there's an understanding. Like, it was so cool. And so we did that for, a handful of years. But to see how it had progressed from, man, it's like, dude, I remember when this dude was at Third Lindsley.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when man, I remember when we was traveling to Alabama and all these different places. And
Mm-hmm.
then now here we are serving and worshiping God on the same stage.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And here's what's really cool, man, is that when I told you earlier, there's three words that I think about when I think of you, and that's God, family, and music.
Absolutely.
And not to be cheesy, but what I mean by that, my man, is when you think of individuals, something pops in your mind immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen the integral nature of you, regardless of what you've gone through, because I know you've gone through it, and I know you've gone through some highs and some lows, as I have, and most people do. It's just about everybody does.
Right.
But regardless of how you've navigated things, because when you started going through your stuff in life, and how I saw your intention with being a father,
Mm. Yeah.
I was like, he gets it. Not that I ever questioned it, but
Uh-huh.
but when your assumption of someone, like, I know if Joey goes through something, he gonna be all right. He gonna man up, and he gonna do what he gotta do.
Yeah.
But when it came time to test that,
Come on, sir.
and I saw you stand up, not saying it was easy. You and I talked during that time. We
Oh, yeah.
we had a coffee. It was sat down. I was like, dude,
No
let's
doubt.
let's sit and chat. And we
No
caught
doubt.
up. And there was no BS. It was straight up. This is what it is. But your optimistic look and view on things, that you knew that everything's gonna be all right, because it always has with God.
Yes, sir.
And it didn't mean that it was all sunshine and rainbows at the time.
Not at all.
But you knew this too shall pass. You knew that, you know what? It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna be
and
all
you
right.
know, let me pause parenthetically and
Yeah,
say
sure.
this. Uh hmm, there are there are six people
Hmm.
that I immediately heard from in that season when the press, if you will, broke
Sure.
about what was going on in my life at the time.
Sure. Yep.
Uh, that was you,
Hmm.
EJ,
Hmm.
Brandon Fraley,
Hmm.
Darwin Mason,
Yep.
Rashawn Booker,
Hmm.
Daryl Burnett.
There you go.
All right.
Yep.
What is the saying? Show me your closest friends, I'll show you the direction of your life.
Yep. Hmm.
The reason that I knew that things were going to be okay was because of the people that I heard from first, outside of my family.
Sure. Yeah.
You hear me?
100%. I know. I got you. Yeah. Yeah.
Because family's gonna do what family is gonna do.
Right.
Even in the not so good family situations, family still finds this thing and they do what this, what they're gonna do.
Right.
But it's outside of your bloodline connections.
Yep.
When you see that community come to you, one more, Joe Holden.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Holden.
Mm-hmm.
When you see that circle get around you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you're looking for a way to escape, but you've got a band of brothers around you, they're like, no, you got this.
Yep.
And they're
And
all saying it in different ways,
of
right?
course.
No,
Of
no,
course.
no, 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 no. Hold your head. You
Yep.
got this.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when I tell you, I, I'm here now, here today, because of moments like that.
Sure.
Now, to even survive to get to that point, let's go deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Neoshi Jackson drove his behind from Nashville down to Alabama to keep me from doing something drastic to
Yes.
me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. Yep.
Like he got in his car
Mm-hmm. Now I can see Neoshi doing that.
and drove 2 hours to stop me from doing something to me.
And that makes sense because that's the kind of man he is. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. I and, let me be real honest here. I wasn't really praying the prayer, God, get me out of this.
Okay.
I wasn't. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I got in it.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't praying, okay, God, get me out of this and I'll never do it again. I was praying real honest prayers. I'm here.
Right. Yeah.
Just just don't kill me,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then not like God came and sat in the car, but I heard something say, well, I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm not gonna let you kill you either.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
You've got to start doing things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, God, family, music. Music saved my life, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Music saved my life on multiple occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about a craft or a talent or the ability to put a band together and do a gig or anything like that.
Sure.
It's literally the sound of music kept me from doing something drastic.
Mm-hmm. And that makes so much sense to me. Anyone that has musical ears would say,
Mhm.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. It's not the same, not to discount mothers, but it's almost like the soothing voice of your mother.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's in that ballpark. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's in that
They
ballpark.
just talk to you differently when they can
Yeah.
see that you really going through it,
Mm-hmm.
and where they could punt and be like, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. They'll just be like, sit down, son, let me talk to you.
Yeah.
And just the timbre of a mother's voice when they're trying to keep you from losing it.
Yep.
It just mothers
Yeah.
just go to a different gear.
And music has the same, similar capability.
Absolutely.
And
Here
it,
again, you start hearing things that you didn't really hear in the song.
yeah, it's music therapy. You start extracting lyrics that never meant anything to you before.
Come on, sir. Come on.
Before you're like, oh, that's a cool lyric. And then now you hear it, it's like, ooh, wee, that hit my soul.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's hitting way different now.
Yeah. And the power of association, man, I think that's one thing that I would love for people to extract from this conversation is it's who you surround yourself with.
Yes, sir.
The fact that, see, it's not like did life and kind of, solo, you go through some personal crap and then, you hit the hotline and people, no, they called you. We called you.
Yeah.
That's because the work you put in previously to surround yourself with men, right? To learn, to
Absolutely.
grow, have comrades.
Yes, sir.
We sharpen each other's. And then when stuff happens,
Yes,
He's
sir.
like, wait, like where's our dog at? What's going on? Hey, Joe, when I called you, hey man, I'm in town. We meeting up. What you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna meet over here in 100 Oaks.
And
Like,
right, it wasn't a question.
it wasn't a question. There wasn't a
Yeah.
question. And you know me, man, I don't come like that hardly ever. But
Right.
but when I know and sense and tell something's going on with my boy, I'm like, look, man, like we can chum it up later, but meet me over here. Like that's more of
Yeah.
a friendly command.
It was a command.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was even
I was
look,
trying to soften up a little, man.
I was like, I mean, I got a couple of things going on. He's like, all right, well, look, for those of
Yeah,
you watching, let me tell you something. Mondo was not taking no for an answer that day.
no,
He was
no,
not.
man, dude, because I've been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know at the time, Joe, that you were, yes, I'm not saying you weren't busy,
Hmm.
but busyness can keep you from looking at you.
There it is. There it is, right there.
And we get addicted to that self redirection and distraction, so
Yeah.
we don't have to look here.
That's it.
And I knew what you were doing, and probably like you weren't doing it like as a direct thing, but I know the mode you were in. Like I
Hmm.
recognize it's more of a mode than an intention.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
recognize that mode. That's why I wasn't taking no for an answer. So and now I was like, well, at the time I was like, man, you're gonna be straight. And I know you knew that. You were speaking positive, you were speaking truthful, you were speaking with optimism, you were speaking from pain and all that. And then I said, okay, yeah, he's gonna be fine. And I
Hmm.
see what kind of father you are, kind of transitioning to that. And I'm like, man, this dude, he gets it. He gets it. And I remember I said this to you, not saying you got it from me because you didn't. You had already been doing it. And I told you because of my situation, I was like, there's no situation or no person that's going to keep me away from me being a father to my girls. Everybody else can go fly a kite. I could care. Ain't nobody, no one,
Absolutely.
no
And
one.
that was
And
the thing, man.
I will go through hell
Yes.
again and again and again to make
Yes.
sure that I have a phenomenal relationship with my girls.
That's it.
So you can say, do, try, stick, poke, shoot, what dart. I don't care. I don't care. African thing. I don't care. I,
Man.
and so I said that stuff to you, and I saw it resonating with you because that's what you had already been doing.
Hmm.
And I was trying to explain that, like, so it would mm, reinforce.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Not to give you an idea. You didn't need it. You're already doing it. It was just to reinforce that, man, you're on the right track, dog. Like you doing,
Yeah.
yeah, you on the right. You keep doing it. Yeah, like the thing you're feeling. He's like, I hope this works. I think it works. I hope I try. I'm gonna keep going, but is it working? I don't know, man. Like that. You know what I'm saying? All those noises.
All of that.
I was trying to help you. Just say, man, look, dude, you're on it.
Yeah, man.
You're on it. And
And
I've always respected you as a father, man.
man, I appreciate that. The one thing that you said in that conversation in Hundred Oaks was
Mhm.
just remember, time is the X factor.
Yes.
Time and consistency.
Yep.
Time and consistency.
Is undefeated.
It's undefeated, man.
Yep.
And so with intentionality with my schedule, I had
Hmm.
to get out and work to get through everything that was going on. I'm grinding, right?
Hmm.
But every opportunity that I had off the clock was with the kids,
Come on.
you know.
Come on.
Um, and what's so beautiful about it, uh, looking back and now looking at current things going on in my kids' life, they're doing things that we do.
Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
My son plays drums.
There you go. Come on now. Yep.
He sings. My daughter sings.
Love it.
Uh,
Love it.
my stepdaughter plays bass
Come
and
on.
guitar
Come on. Yeah.
and drums. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Dude.
So it's all right there. It's time and consistency and intentionality,
Yeah.
you know.
There's there's a thing. I'm going to pinpoint it on the musician world because that's what we're talking about. I know what I'm about to say is a nationwide thing. I get it. It's a marriage thing, but there's a lot of people that we know in the music business that have gone through some marriage challenges or different things, divorce, just the separations, whatever, all that stuff, right? And
Yeah.
it's at one particular point, at least in my career, man, I noticed it was kind of rampant. Like it was popping off like popcorn, bro. Like you just heard this person and that couple and that couple and that couple, like dang.
Hmm.
And what it's crazy, man. I got a phone call from someone that we both know. I won't say his name because, well, yeah, no, it wouldn't be cool. But um, he asked me, man, how in the world did you make it through your situation?
Hmm.
Now, mind you, I didn't have like, well, glad you asked. I didn't have that. I was like, huh? Hey,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, how'd you? Because you know where I'm going. He's in that pocket of I don't know if I'm gonna make it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm also looking at who he is in the
Hmm.
music world. I'm like,
Hmm.
not you.
Right.
No, man, not you.
Right.
No, and it's crazy how you never know who's watching. That's where I'm going.
100%.
Joey, there are so many instances. I can't speak for nobody else. I was watching you.
Wow.
And not from a critic standpoint by no means, man.
Yeah.
As a fan, as a pick me up in the sense of like, all right, cool. Because really, like maybe I picked you up that day a little bit at Hundred Oaks, but there's been plenty of times on IG and Facebook where you picked me up and you didn't even know it.
Wow. Whoo.
Okay,
Wow.
seriously,
Wow.
because it's also cool to see another father doing it the right way. Because man, fatigue is a real thing, bro.
It's a real thing.
But
It really is.
like, and I'm not talking about working out fatigue. I'm talking about dealing with the ish.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Is it can be fatiguing, man. It can get you to a point where you're like, man, the heck with you're real close to that. Just take like screw it.
Yeah. Just start turning over tables.
Yeah. And then you're like, you know what? Hold on a second. And I'm just like, all right, oh, here's Joe. What's up with Joe? What he doing? Okay, he's singing at the what's he doing? Oh, I haven't seen this man. His kid's getting big.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, oh wow, look how big, man. And I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. You
So
know what I
let
mean?
me let me tell you something, man.
Come on now, tell me how at me.
It's like you said, it's fatiguing. And I think, like you said, you can get busy doing nothing
Mm,
in the grand scheme of things.
what you said.
Like you can get busy, but you're not doing anything. And what it comes down to is always know what your why is, your WHY question
Mhm.
mark is.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Hmm.
Why am I here now?
Yep.
Why am I my kid's father?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Why do I have this job?
Yeah.
Why do I have this assignment? Why do I
Yeah.
have this level
Yeah.
of influence with anybody?
Yep.
It is to help each other get from one day to the next, to the next, to the next. It's not, I think we try to make things bigger than they are
Of course.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a good life resume builder.
Of course. Yeah. That's the human aid. We do that crap. Yeah.
Yeah, I blah 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 blah. Well, I I got that out of my head and I said, okay, what did I do to get to tomorrow to still have the opportunity to make tomorrow better than yesterday was?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, that's what fueled this season of creativity for me.
Nice.
Tell
Nice.
the story about how you got from here to the next day.
And that's what people need. That's what I needed. I will say possibly what you needed too in
No
some
doubt.
points. And but that's the part. That's why and I knew you wouldn't be afraid to go there and share some of this stuff, man. I mean, might end up being a part two, bro, when we really dig deep
Yeah.
into the dark season because there's a lot of people that I talk to who are trying to figure out how to navigate that dark space, man. how to get out of it. Right. You know, like, and
Yeah.
here's another thing. I am sick of conversations we're having, with people where they talk about the past all the time. I want to like talk about the present.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now? What's going on now? What you do this morning? What you about to do? What you thinking about? What you thinking about thinking about? Like talk about the now.
Yes,
Talk in
sir.
the present. But it's to avoid like what's really happening in your world right now. Someone
Mhm.
taught me that a while ago. It has been a absolute game changer.
Yes, sir.
Absolute.
Because the past, look, I remember one of the strongest statements I've ever heard. It actually came out of my mouth, and I knew it wasn't me.
Come on. Yeah.
You can look back, but you can't ever go back.
Uh, But we act like we going back.
How many of us, like, think about it? How many
Yeah.
of us live our lives always looking in rearview mirrors?
Yep.
Because we either peaked at that period, like we did our best work at that period, we did our best whatever at
Yep.
that period, and it
Yep.
was like, no, that was for that moment, that etch in time. What are
Yep.
you doing now?
Yep. And I forgot who said it. I've heard my boy said it, but he got it from somewhere, probably somebody famous. I love this though. You can't win today's games with yesterday's home runs.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
man, I hit 45 home runs last year. That's cool. What you do today?
Struck
Man,
out.
last season. Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think as fathers, that ties into fatherhood, whether your children are with you or not, or whatever the situation may be.
Mhm.
Who you were to them yesterday is irrelevant, man.
That's it.
Who are you right now? Because think
So
about the capacity of a toddler or of a middle school kid, or how,
come on.
they don't care about yesterday. Where you at right now?
Where you at now?
What are we doing now?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I kept my promises before, and I showed up and took you to get some ice cream, but you didn't do it today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said you were coming at 6 and you didn't show up at 6. But I've been there every other time, but you didn't do it today.
Right.
Right. So it's literally looking at, like, as a father, like I have to stop trying to use the resume of fatherhood to justify my activities of today.
That's it. That's
Because
it.
my kids don't give a flying flip about yesterday.
At all.
It's about right now.
Right now.
Because here's one thing that I know we talked about this at some point, and I want to get to something crazy. So we talked about this at one point where I mentioned that, it's not a fear thing. It's not. Well, I guess it is. Let me stop lying. I think it maybe is a little concern for me. I never wanted to. I would play the tape forward. Let me stop stuttering. I play the tape forward in my life with my children, and I think about when I show up at their house when they have families. Do they want me to come in?
Mhm.
Are they excited to see me? Are they asking me to come for Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Are they asking, "Hey, Dad, what are you and Selena doing for Thanksgiving? Let's do a cruise together."
Yes, sir.
Uh, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't want my kids to, "Oh, here go Dad again," or now he act like he want to be around, or like I say, like, I gotta avoid that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the hard work now
That's it.
in the midst of divorce, in the midst of separation, in the midst of dysfunction, in the midst of all the other drama and this, that, and the other. Because all that is noise. You focus on your babies, do the hard work now in the midst of the noise. It'll be
Absolutely.
easier later. I promise you that.
Absolutely. That's
Do
it.
the hard work now, or go the easy route and act like you ignoring everybody, stick your head in the sand like an ostrich, act like can't nobody see you behind. And then later you thinking it's easy. You thinking it's easy. And then when you an old fart, your kids don't want to be bothered with you.
And let me tell you
And
something.
that's hard.
That's
Harder.
hard.
That's hard.
That's the kind of stuff that will literally drive me over the edge.
See? Exactly.
Not
Speaking of,
having a strong relationship with my kids in my
man,
older years.
speak on it.
Mm-mm.
Exactly. And I saw you working at it because of what you just said. I want a relationship with my kids. I want to do life with my children when they're older and they have their own families, my
Mm-hmm.
grandkids. So all right, let me put the work in. Let me do what they deserve. How about that?
There it is.
Let me do
There
what
it is.
let me give them the daddy they deserve. And so I've always honored you for that, man. You know, there's some great examples out there. Not more. We need more, but but we need more good examples.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I've seen you exemplify these traits of a great father, a great musician, a great friend, obviously, man. And just to give you your kudos, man, keep it up. I know you will, but dude, you're an example, and a lot of young men can learn from you. You know, and not just how to
Appreciate
sing,
that.
not just how to play. Now I'm gonna tell you something. First of all, if y'all don't know, Joey's a phenomenal lead singer. He's a phenomenal entertainer, but you have not had the pleasure.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna say it really appropriate. Pleasure of having Joey Richie in the studio with you, laying background vocals. Come on, somebody. If you
Listen.
have not heard this fool in the studio laying background vocals,
Listen.
oh,
People always ask me, if you had your pick, would you be a lead guy or would you? I'm like, dude, give me a microphone and a booth and punch red. Let's go.
man.
I
And I
will
did
do
that.
backgrounds till the Lord comes back.
Yes, because I had files for days. I had more files of you singing than I had the actual artist and musicians. I had most of that hard drive was your voice.
Man,
But let
and
me
I
tell
loved
you,
every minute of it, bro.
bro, I might have to piece something together. This might be a special thing. Like at the end of this podcast,
Mm.
find the old jams, little snippets of just you doing your thing. It is absolutely phenomenal, man. And I know going back to the childhood, Church of Christ, a cappella, listening for the instruments and blah blah blah, voice mimicking and all those things you're able to do.
Yeah.
Phenomenal ear, perfect pitch, dude. This is phenomenal, man. I do
Man,
want to
I
get into
appreciate
something
it.
crazy though, man. So before we wrap up, though,
All right.
so, all right, guys, here's what happened. I told Joey I wanted to hear one of his crazy Joey Mondo stories, and we were going to share it live. And I was going to share one. The problem, though, is we have the same story. So,
Do we
so,
ever?
so, now if our wonderful friend Jay Bake watches this, I'm so sorry to bring this up because you're a integral part of the story, and you were on the
Man.
short end of the stick, my friend. I know.
Man.
I know, and I hope enough time has gone by where you can laugh with us. Uh, so, all right, so we went to Memphis, and what was it? What was it for?
Okay. We got booked to play a frat party
Okay, yeah, that's right, that's right. So, yeah,
in Memphis at this iconic historic theater on Bill Street.
right. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Clay, who was playing guitar for us at the
Uh-huh.
time,
Uh-huh.
called his dad and all their buddies. They brought the sound rig down from Katie's, Kentucky.
Yep, sure did.
Did sound and lights for us. They got us looking like we on tour.
Man, killing the game. Killing the
Okay.
game. Yep.
We started set two.
Uh-huh. Now you got Jay Baker on keys. I'm on
Jay
drums.
Baker's on keys.
Oh,
You're
and
on
EJ.
drums.
EJ there too, right? He was
Yes.
yeah,
It
he
was
was playing
EJ,
keys. Yep.
Jay Baker,
Yep.
you, Clay on guitar,
Yep.
Hatmaker on bass.
Yes, sir. Mm.
And I think we had, you know what? Jay Baker was actually pulling double duty. He was playing aux keys and playing saxophone.
Saxophone. That's right. He was playing aux keys. That's right. And saxophone. That's right. That's right.
Okay. We
Oh,
started
I heard you say frat house, right? Is that what you said?
it was a
Frat
frat
house?
gig.
Okay, frat house.
It wasn't at a frat house, it was at a theater.
No, it was a fraternity. Sorry, my
It was a
bad.
fraternity that
Yeah.
hired us.
Mhm.
And all right,
Very key point there.
this like they're formal.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got tuxedos and evening gowns on.
Yep. Yeah, because they got the sorority sisters there.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. Set two starts. A few things have been consumed in the way of beverages,
Yep.
And otherwise,
a few, bruh, they was getting it. Like,
in.
yeah. We talk about fraternity smart, they was getting it, bro. Yeah.
And somewhere in the process of set 2 really starting to take life, one of the sorority sisters comes on stage.
Yep.
Because she has taken a mild liking to Jay Baker.
Yeah. Yeah. At one point, was it her? Was it her or somebody else that came and danced around me for a quick second?
It was somebody else. It was one of her friends.
One of her friends. I was like, somebody. Okay, one of her friends. All right, got it.
Right.
Yep.
And the fellas in the fraternity did not like that because it was their dates.
Yes, they did not like it.
They did not like it at all.
No.
To the point, dun, 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 here comes the crazy, to the point that one of said fraternity gentlemen in his tuxedo,
yes,
cracks open a freshly pulled out of the ice cooler beer, and pours it on Jay Baker's brand new Yamaha Motif keyboard.
Yeah.
At which point we stopped the whole show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And almost went to jail that night.
Dude, now most of y'all probably know liquids and electronics don't go well together.
At all.
So just in case you didn't know that.
At all.
Bro, I feel so bad for Jay because I think I saw it. I don't think. I mean, he was right there.
You watched the whole thing go down.
I watched the whole thing, yeah, because
this was behind me.
It's behind you. So I'm watching. So EJ had a straight, clear view. So did Hatmaker, and I did. We had a straight, clear view. And Jay, I saw it. Yeah, and he just doing his thing, minding his business, just minding his business and playing some good music, doing what he's supposed to do.
That's it.
Doing his thing. This young dude comes up and does what Joey said, man. Jay Baker's face, I was like, oh, I mean, for quick, I felt so bad for, because it's like when you have a new toy at the crib when you're little.
Come on.
And you're so excited, and then your mama's work friend come over with her little bad baby kid, and they want to play with your new toy you just got that day.
And break it.
And they break it. That was how Jay looked. Oh, man. So I saw that, and dude, now at the time I wasn't laughing.
No.
At the time I wasn't laughing. At this point, it's go mode. So I saw that, and I was playing whatever we were playing. I saw that. I was like, oh, blah! Stopped.
Yes.
Dude, I went straight for his neck.
This was the thing, y'all. Look, anybody watching this, if you ever led a band and that groove is sitting tight and out of nowhere, everything just stops. The
Something
first
wrong.
thing you do is turn around because something is gone way left.
The whole groove at the drums, everything stopped. EJ stopped.
EJ stopped.
EJ stopped. I stopped. It was about
And when I tell you, when I turned around and saw all of y'all going toward Jay,
yep,
and it was two people that weren't in the band in the middle, I was like, oh, no.
Oh,
and then when Jay told me what happened, I started pulling off. I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, pull him out in the back alley.
Well, so what's crazy? It was crazy about that, man. Is the fraternity brothers? They grabbed him. They feared for his life.
Yep.
Now, of course, we weren't gonna do nothing that crazy, but at the moment, the heat, testosterone,
maybe not y'all.
Maybe, yeah. Jay Baker would. Jay Baker would probably put that saxophone somewhere.
Dude.
Hey, look, that right there was one of the craziest moments because when I see EJ, he always brings it up. He said, "Man, I'll never forget." It's just one of those epic moments you have with people, and it was such a abnormal place for something like that to happen.
100.
That's why why it was so shocking. I mean, it's a beautiful event, evening gowns and tuxedos, and everybody's clean and fresh and it's classy, and it goes extremely ignorant Like just stupid crazy.
like that, man. And for what? For
Right.
what reason?
And Jay wasn't doing anything. He was playing saxophone. Now I know saxophone can be, a lovely, sexy instrument.
Come on
And,
now.
and he playing keys. He's a good looking guy. He over there just minding his business, playing his saxophone.
He just trying to make his money.
That's all. He ain't bothering nobody. He ain't flirting with nobody. He ain't doing none of that.
He ain't bothering nobody. He ain't
He ain't
flirting
bothering
with
nobody.
nobody. He wasn't, giving no winking eyes
Yeah.
off the stage.
So and yeah, it was like a scene out of Five Heartbeats if you've seen it before. It was like it literally
Bro,
was. And
bro.
in that moment, we were just trying to protect our boy Jay, and then obviously ourselves because we know how ignorant it was gonna get. Because all I knew, it was like what, six of us and about what, 50 of them, the guys at least.
Yeah, but you got to remember the X factor for us was Bill, Bill, Billy, his son,
Mhm.
Clay's dad,
Yeah, that's right.
Kerry
Yeah,
Fowler. They
yeah,
were all badge carriers.
that's right. I forgot about that. That's
That
right.
we had a fire chief, a sheriff's deputy,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
like a city commissioner,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and a,
They-
and like a commissioner of the jail with us.
Let me tell you, man, that right there, guys, I'm gonna tell you, if you want to see Mondo and Joey go from what you see here to sideways, that's a moment. That's
Mess
a
with our
moment.
people.
Yeah, that's what our folks, man. I'm gonna tell you. But you know what? It was years ago. I think that was the first gig that I played with EJ. I met him the day
Yep.
we left.
Yep.
Right. So, and that's why he brings them in. The first day I met you, man, you remember what happened? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's crazy, man. It's fun. I had a feeling when I asked you that question, what's the craziest Mondo Joey story that you were going to say Memphis? Because that by far is the peak.
Let me tell you something. That moment is etched in my memory
Yeah.
for like whoever goes first. If we got to speak at somebody's, if we got to speak at each other's funeral,
Well,
that
yeah.
story is gonna get told.
That's going to get told. That's going to get told, man. That's going to get told. I'm telling you. But man, I love how we were that night, and it speaks for just the community of musicians in Nashville.
Yeah.
I think a lot of bands would have done it, just to stick up for their guy. But there
Uh-huh.
was there was a serious brotherhood that was in a connection that was made that night.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it happened, but at the same time, it's like I'm kind of in a weird way kind of glad it did because it really forged some great relationships.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so, and not to glorify that kind of mess, but it happened. It is what it is, man. Like,
Yeah.
and to talk about it, it's like, we relive it and we chop it up. And I would believe that Jay Baker can look back at it now and say, man, that was nuts. Um,
Look.
yeah, it was definitely nuts, man. But I love the fact that we cover so much today, man, with who you are, people understanding your background, and they're not looking at you as Joey the singer, Jay
Yeah.
Rich, yeah, I'm sure he's pretty cool. I guess it seems like a nice guy. His life is perfect, or whatever. Uh,
Right. It
it
sure ain't.
so it'd be good for the people that follow you, fans, friends, and the like that want to know more about you. I think they'll see a different layer of the
Yeah.
man Joey Richie. Watching this conversation, man, there's more to it. Obviously, us knowing each other a whole quarter piece,
Man.
25 years, man. There's a lot we can get into. We could talk for hours,
Yes, sir.
and we'll have to do. I think it'd be good for us to do another one specifically on like being men and how to navigate challenges and stuff like that. That'd be cool, man, because I get that request a lot,
Yeah.
and I think it'd be good for us to do that because we have stuff to pull from.
I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe in a collaborative setting. I don't know. We'll chop it up and figure it out. Maybe it's us two or we have a group of guys. We'll figure it out.
No
But
doubt.
but man, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to chop it up. Let my people get to know you, true integral piece of my life, wonderful friend, man, and brother, as well as your people get to see someone who's important to you, been a big part of your
No
life and get to
doubt.
know you at a deeper level, man. So where can people find you, man? What are you doing? Where are you at? How do people reach out? All that fun stuff.
So, all of my social media handles are the same.
Mhm.
The Joey Richie, that's TheJoeyRichey. That's across all platforms. in this season, I'm actually creating and trying to be intentional about putting new music out. So just be on the lookout for that. I'll be announcing all of that across all social media platforms.
My man.
I do have some music out on different collaborative efforts. So just on all of the streaming platforms, if you just type in my name, some things will pop up that you'll enjoy them. And
I love it.
I'm very thankful and blessed to still be in the creative space after all these years.
Yeah.
And you know, on a more personal note, I'm so thankful for your friendship and brotherhood over the years. And man, I reciprocate the same level of respect and then increase it tenfold, man. I have so much respect for you, man. And I appreciate you. I love you, man.
Love you too, brother. I appreciate you, man. That means a lot. You know, so yeah, before we get all soppy and start hugging each other through the screen, and before Neoshi started talking about us, because I already hear him. Look at these fools. I can already see him talking. I see you, Neoshi. I see you. Oh man. Hey, brother, good stuff, man. Hey, reach out to the Joey Richie on all platforms. Check out the music, follow him on IG and everything there is out there, man. You'll definitely see more Joey on the AMG podcast. We love you, appreciate you, and we see you on the next episode. Later.